is due to its being inhabited by animals and by plants, like those on our earth, only greater and more beautiful, for the animals on it are 15 times as powerful, not having any sort of excrement, and their day is 15 times as long as ours. But others said that the outward appearance in the moon is the reflection on the other side of the inflamed circle of the sea that is on our earth. Some regard the greater year as the 60-year period, among whom are Euclides and Pythagoras. 3.1. Some of the Pythagoreans said that the Milky Way is the burning of a star that fell from its own foundation, setting on fire the region through which it passed in a circle, as Phaeton was burned. And others say that the course of the sun arose in this manner at the first, and certain ones say that the appearance of the sun is like a mirror reflecting its rays toward the heaven, and therefore it happens at times to reflect its rays on the rainbow in the clouds. 3.2.366. Some of the followers of Pythagoras say that the comet is one of the stars that are not always shining, but emit their light periodically through a certain definite time. But others say that it is the reflection of our vision into the sun, like reflected images. 3.14.378. Pythagoras of the earth, after the analogy of the sphere of the all, is divided into 5 zones: Arctic, Antarctic, summer, winter, and equinoctial. Of these the middle one he defines to be the middle of the earth, called for this very reason the torrid zone, but the inhabited one, the one between the Arctic and the torrid zone, being well tempered. 4.2. Pythagoras holds that number moves itself, and he takes number as an equivalent for intelligence. 4.4.389. Pythagoras, Plato. According to a superficial account, the soul is of 2 parts, the one possessing, the other lacking reason, but according to close and exact examination, of 3 parts. For the unreasoning part they divide into the emotions and the desires. The successors of Pythagoras, saying that body is a mixture of 5 elements, for they rank the ether as a fifth along with the 4, held that the powers of the soul are of the same number as these, and these they name intelligence and wisdom and understanding and opinion and sense perception. 4.5.491. Pythagoras. The principle of life is about the heart, but the principle of reason and intelligence is about the head. 4.5.492. Pythagoras et al. The intelligence enters from without. 4.7.492. Pythagoras, Plato. The soul is imperishable. 4.9.496. Pythagoras et al. The sense perceptions are deceptive. 4.9.397. Pythagoras, Plato. Each of the sensations is pure, proceeding from each single element. With reference to vision, it was of the nature of ether hearing, of the nature of wind smell, of the nature of fire taste, of the nature of moisture touch, of the nature of earth. 4.14.405. The followers of Pythagoras and of the mathematicians on reflections of vision, for visions move directly as it were against the bronze of a mirror, and meeting with a firm smooth surface, it is turned and bent back on itself, meeting some such experience as when the arm is extended and then bent back to the shoulder. 4.20.409. Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle. Sound is immaterial, for it is not air, but it is the form about the air and the appearance after some sort of percussion which becomes sound. And every appearance is immaterial, for it moves with bodies, but is itself absolutely immaterial. As in the case of a bent rod, the surface appearance suffers no change, but the matter is what is bent. 5.1.415. Pythagoras did not admit the sacrificial part alone of augury. 5.3.417. Pythagoras. The seed is foam of the best part of the blood, a secretion from the nourishment, like blood and marrow. 5.4.417. Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle. The power of seed is immaterial, like intelligence, the moving power, but the matter that is poured forth is material. 5.20.432. Pythagoras, Plato. The source of animals, called unreasoning, are reasonable, not however with active reasoning powers, because of an imperfect mixture of the bodies, and because they do not have the power of speech, as in the case of apes and dogs, for these have intelligence, but not the power of speech. Arius Didymus, Epitome, Fr. 32. Apollodorus in the second book concerning the gods. It is the Pythagorean opinion that the morning and the evening star are the same. Theophrastus, Physics, Fr. 17. Favorinus says that he, Pythagoras, was the first to call the heavens a universe and the earth round. Cicero on the nature of gods 111, for Pythagoras, who held that soul is extended through all the nature of things and mingled with them, and that from this our souls are taken, did not see that God would be separated and torn apart by the separation of human souls. And when souls are wretched, as might happen to many, then part of God would be wretched, a thing which could not happen. Hippolytus, Philosopher-Scientists. 2. There is a second philosophy, not far distant from the same time, of which Pythagoras, whom some call a Samian, was the first representative, and this they call the Italian philosophy, because Pythagoras fled the rule of Polycrates over the Samians, and settled in a city of Italy where he spent his life. The successive leaders of his sect shared the same spirit, and he in his studies of nature mingled astronomy and geometry and music, and thus he asserted that God is a monad, and examining the nature of number with especial care, he said that the universe produces melody and is put together with harmony. And he first proved the motion of the 7 stars to be rhythm and melody, and in wonder at the structure of the universe, he decreed that at first his disciples should be silent, as it were mystery were coming into the order of the all. Then, when he thought they had sufficient education in the principles of truth, and had sought wisdom sufficiently in regard to stars and in regard to nature, he pronounced them pure, and then bade them speak. He separated his disciples into 2 groups, and called one esoteric and the other exoteric. To the former he entrusted the more perfect sciences, to the latter the more moderate, and he dealt with magic, as they say, and himself discovered the art of physiognomy. Postulating both numbers and measures, he was wont to say that the first principle of arithmetic embraced philosophy by combination, after the following manner: number is the first principle, a thing which is undefined, incomprehensible, having in itself all numbers which could reach infinity in amount, and the first principle of numbers is in substance the first monad, which is a male monad, begetting as a father all other numbers. Secondly, the dyad is female number, and the same is called by the arithmetician even. Thirdly, the triad is male number. This the arithmeticians have been wont to call odd. Finally, the tetrad is a female number, and the same is called even because it is female. All numbers, then, taken by classes are fours, for a number is undefined in reference to class, of which is composed the perfect number, the decad. For the series 1, 2, 3, and 4 becomes 10, if its own name is kept in its essence by each of the numbers. Pythagoras said that this sacred tetractys is the spring having the roots of ever-flowing nature in itself, and from these numbers have their first principle, for the 11 and the 12 and the rest derive from the 10 the first principle of their being. The 4 parts of the decad, this perfect number, are called number, monad, power, and cube, and the interweavings and minglings of these in the origin of growth are what naturally completes nascent number. For when a power is multiplied upon itself, it is the power of a power, and when a power is multiplied on a cube, it is the power of a cube, and when a cube is multiplied on a cube, the cube of a cube. Thus all numbers from which arises the genesis of what arises are 7: number, monad, power, cube, power of a power, power of a cube, cube of a cube. He said that the soul is immortal, and that it changes from one body to another. So he was wont to say that he himself had been born before the Trojan War as Aethalides, and at the time of the Trojan War as Euphorbus, and after that as Hermotimos of Samos, then as Pyrrhus of Delos, fifth as Pythagoras, and Diodorus of Eretria, and Aristoxenus the musician say that Pythagoras had come into Zarathustra of Chaldea, and he set forth that in his view there were from the beginning 2 causes of things, father and mother, and the father is light and the mother darkness, and the parts of light are warm, dry, light, swift, and of darkness are cold, moist, heavy, slow. And of these the universe is composed, of male and female, and he says that the universe exists in accordance with musical harmony. So the sun also makes an harmonious period. And concerning the things that arise from the earth and the universe, they say that Zarathustra spoke as follows: there are 2 divinities, one of the heavens and the other of the earth. The one of the earth produces things from the earth, and it is water, and the divinity of the heavens is fire with a portion of air, warm and cold. Wherefore he says that none of these things will destroy or even pollute the soul, for these are the essence of all things. And it is said that Zaratas forbade men to eat beans because he said that